The quality of education in any country is one of the major keys to national development. Unfortunately, the decline in the standard of education in Nigeria is alarming as a result of many factors which include poor governance, poor funding, among others. The Center for Peace Advocacy and Sustainable Development, in commemoration of the International Youth Day, has put together a Nigeria Youth Summit with the theme, Transforming Education. As our correspondent, Anita Patrick, now reports, the initiative hopes to help tackle the challenges in Nigeria's education system.
Nigeria runs a federation system, so the Nigerian education system is overseen by Ministry of Education. The federal government controls public schools, while state schools are controlled at the regional levels. The education system at the federal level is managed by the Ministry of Education. This includes management of federal universities and schools. State public schools and tertiary institutions are controlled regionally by the ministry at the state level. This implies that the standard of education across states differs depending on the quality each state can deliver. The founder of Cepasd, Austin Ugweshi, says the idea of the initiative is to change the position of Nigerian education as there is a huge gap in the funding of education at the different levels of the government. He therefore calls on the government to buy into the idea of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, which recommends that 26% of the nation's budget should be allocated to the educational sector.
UNESCO has always mapped out 20% for budgetary allocations for education. Right now, Nigeria is currently on 7.05%, which is far below the UNESCO standard for developing countries like Nigeria for education. So with this poor funding, education system in Nigeria still has a long way to go. So the minister, what he has to do is to put pressure on the government or his cabinet members to be able to raise the to increase the budgetary allocation of education to 20%.
Co-founder More Global Foundation and media director Cepasd say the one thing that has crippled most sectors in Nigeria today is poor governance, and the educational sector is not an exception, as this initiative is to bring together youths to brainstorm on how to transform the educational system as well as promote peace building.
How are we going to transform education? That's when youth involvement in policy making. That's when inclusion of people with disability. It involves all stakeholders. When you talk about the children, those who are much more concerned about. Then when you talk about the allocation, the most important thing is accessing the funding is one of the major challenges we are having in this Nigeria.
At the moment, we have a lot of crisis, both political, economic and all that, and we really need to look at it. Who are the people that would correct this menace? It is the youths. And that's why we've decided to bring key stakeholders today to talk about peace, security, coming from a very youthful point of view.
These young minds are hoping that the government's attitude towards crucial problems of education, especially its quality, would change for good with more funding to ensure more Nigerian children are given proper education, which will in return have a good impact on national development. Anita Patrick, reporting for Clearview Television.